All right, and welcome. Day 2 of our Bucharest minor Chinese qualifiers as we got 2 best of 3s tonight. Nothing too crazy like last night's 3 best of 3s, with 2 of those best of 3s going to 3 games. But tonight, 2 best of 3s. RNG against EHOME. And then the winner of this series goes on to play Team Root in a next best of 3. And then the winner of that qualifies for the Bucharest minor. So we'll see who gets the upper hand in this. In this first game to start us off is RNG. It's Afu, Setsu, SRF, Sep, and Monet. And then for the side of EHOME, it's Ego, Y, Faith Beyond, Jiang, and ASD. So we've seen RNG previously. I personally like them quite a bit, as they've, although they have had a little bit of roster movement with 3-4-3 leaving, as well as now no longer using Stay in the mid lane, so they're back to Setsu mid, and they've replaced 3-4-3 with September, who is a really good 4, September. So really good 4 and 5, because they do switch off every now and then, and it really depends on what they're playing to figure out if Sep's going to be in the 4 or if it's going to be Afu. Like, if it's Earth Spirit, it's going to be an Afu Earth Spirit in the 4. But other times, like maybe this Elder Titan, it's Sep in the 4. But we take a look at EHOME with Ego, Y, Faith Beyond, Jiang, ASD. That's Ego in the safe lane, Y in the 5, Faith Beyond in the off lane, Jiang in the 4, ASD mid. And if we take a look at the draft, it's Phantom Assassin, Magnus, Sand King, Medusa, all banned out by EHOME. And then Beastmaster, Phoenix for their first 2 picks. And for the side of RNG, they go Elder Titan Void with the ban of Shadow Shaman, Centaur, Brew, Naga, OD. This is, at least in my opinion, I do really like the Faceless Void Elder Titan combo. When you're able to throw a nice Chronosphere, maybe start it off by the Echo Stomp to get a sweep on a couple of heroes, throw the Earth Splitter through the Faceless Void's Chronosphere. It's already a combination with a team fight in mind. And I know that RNG like to play a very aggressive Elder Titan in the 4. So I'm interested to see how EHOME are really going to try and go up against this, and where they're going to throw the Elder Titan. If the Elder Titan's going to go with the offlaner, or if Elder Titan's going to go with the Void. From what I've seen, they usually throw it with the Void. You get yourself a sweep to start. You throw the Astral Spirit out to try and get more damage, get the touch on the creeps and everything and the heroes. Pull it back, and then you start to right-click away with the help of Faceless Void and just try to open up the lane for him. You can do this with an offlaner. I mean, Elder Titan in either side lane is really amazing. So, I mean, we'll see where they end up putting this Elder Titan.
Dire's turn to pick. Radiant's turn to pick.
Vengeful spirits.
So you take a look as they go to the Venge for the EHOME side of things, and if we know anything from yesterday, Venge is very important. We saw DDC play it for Root, and the swaps were very crucial to get someone out of the Chronosphere. Venge's positioning became very crucial to whether or not Root was going to win those team fights, and it depends. Are you able to get your carry out of the Chronosphere? And it makes me think that they're going to go big with somebody possibly like the Terrorblade in the 1 position for EHOME, someone who desperately needs to not get caught, who won't be able to tank it well, and you want him right-clicking immediately. So I think that they could go with the Terrorblade for the side of EHOME, that with the Phoenix and Beastmaster. The only thing that does kind of, you know, worry me a little bit here from EHOME is they've got Magic Missile, they've got Primal Roar, but, you know, you're waiting on Primal Roar as in ulti, and then all you've got is Magic Missile. So they go to the Monkey King. That'll bring you Ballast Strike. A little bit of, you know, lockdown here, pick-off potential for the Monkey King with Jingu is always quite nice. But you're up against now the Lich and the Elder Titan with the Void. I mean, the team fight possibilities here for RNG look really good, and I like the Sinister Gaze. The lockdown is always nice, and it started off with the Chain Frost. It is devastating when you go Chain Frost, Sinister Gaze, and you've got nowhere to go with a teammate nearby or creeps nearby. Chain Frost is going to do quite a bit. So, we'll see what they want to go with in the 4th pick here for RNG.
Dire's ban now.
Mirana.
So, Mirana gets picked up. I'm not too sure. I mean, I guess the Mirana can do quite a bit here with Elder Titan. You know, when you've got the sleep, you've got the arrow, the leap in, get the attack speed going. Here with the Void, I think it's a good combination to, at least with the Elder Titan, to maybe open up some space for the Void. If you're aggressive here with the Elder Titan, with the Mirana, and then even with the Lich. So you give the Frost Shield, Mirana leaps in, getting in that close combat kind of area. I could see Mirana doing pretty well here with the Elder Titan. It's an interesting pick. It's not something we see too much in the Chinese region anymore, Mirana, and not something I've really seen too much overall. It looks as though it's going to be in the off lane for the side of RNG, so it'll be played by SRF. SRF did play it during the time of on his previous team at 7.19 or just previous to, you know, him being on RNG. We saw
10 seconds left by
him
my
play on the Mirana before, so.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Be interested to see what they do to finish up this lineup as they've banned out the Huskar.
Seconds.
Get rid of the Centaur, you get rid of the Brew. A lot of these heroes are able to are heroes that are trying to jump into the middle of the fight, jump into your carry's face or into your mid's face. Almost makes me feel like they want to go with like a sniper or something, but that is not the case as they go to the Leshrac. So that's Setsu on the Leshrac. Again, I like this. I really do like this combination because the sleep gives you either the arrow potential or the split earth lightning storm potential. And Tinker. Okay. Ego on the Tinker. I believe I said ASD was the mid, and I believe they go back and forth every now and then. But I wonder about this Tinker, if the Tinker's really going to get enough time to do anything. You've got Afu on the Elder Titan. SRF could be really aggressive with this Mirana. The Sinister Gaze is locked down enough to throw an arrow and follow it up. And the Chain Frost with the Chronosphere. There's so much here for RNG, I think, to win these team fights and get pickoffs. Like, they have both aspects pretty lined out. Whereas EHOME, they're working with Magic Missile, Primal Roar, Boundless Strike. And that's it. Maybe a Hex, but that's at least 30 minutes down the line. So, I don't know. I worry about EHOME quite a bit. They did get 2-0'd by Keen Gaming in the previous series.
Just as I envisaged.
So, we'll see how this ends up going in Game 1 between EHOME and RNG. It's going to be Monet in the safe lane, looking like he's going with Afu. I do like that combination. I don't know if I would have rather seen him go with the Mirana. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But you don't need that sleep. Like, you've got Lich. So you'll have Sinister Gaze. And then, of course, you know the mid of the Leshrac. But we take a look at the other side. Faith Beyond. Let's see who ends up with Faith Beyond, if it will be Jiang. But you've also got Y here. It's a possible stun with Boundless Strike and Jingu. I don't know if you could really give that up. Although the Phoenix with Monkey King is pretty brutal as well.
My gratitude.
So, at least for right now, they've also brought Sep down here. So those lanes aren't exactly going to be for sure just yet. And this is Frost Shield level 1. So they could go for this. Throw the Spirit out, get that early damage. Have some good right click. And that plus 42 early is quite nice. Hitting for 94 right off the bat. And you've got the Monkey King coming in as well as the Venge. So EHOME playing this really aggressive with 4 heroes here. But they've kept the Mirana over top. So RNG will at least get those 2 bounty runes. And bring in 4 heroes over. EHOME will secure their 2. Is the Monkey King going back over towards top? Yes, he is. So, the Monkey King will head over towards top. You've got Jiang here on the Phoenix. And then Y is over bottom with the Beastmaster of Faith Beyond. First level into the Call of the Wild. We'll see what this boar is able to do. Sep hitting on level 2 as SRF is going to be moving over and switching with this Faceless Void. And I kind of like this. I like the early levels here for the Lich. He's already level 2, has gone into the Frost Blast, working his way on level 3. And we could see a 1-1-1 build. Although I wonder if they will go for the Sinister Gaze so early. These musical lanes are always interesting. The arrow comes in, you want a little bit of experience before you at least go into this lane. But SRF throwing that arrow, backs off for a moment, still not committing to going into this lane just yet. And you've got SRF, the Mirana, still sitting level 1. So little musical chairs here for the side of EHOME, and you don't want to TP over. TPing over basically commits you to the lane, because you'd have to walk again. They'll walk for the first one, and if they do, whoever commits for the matchup next with the TPs is usually at a disadvantage. But the magic missile comes through with a wave of terror onto Sep for just a moment. They've got the frost shield from this Lich onto Monet. Again, you're working against ASD. You don't want to give up that Jingu Mastery too early, especially when he's able to take advantage and charge you down. But with the Frost Shield, that shouldn't be too easy for the Monkey King, at least for now. So, having level 2 for this Elder Titan is kind of important. You've got level 2 here for SRF. He's got the leap as well as the arrow. So, if they do land asleep, watch for EHOME to potentially be in a bit of trouble. It'll probably be easier to go for Phaethon overall, as Jiang should have the Icarus Dive and does.
First blood. Thanks and have fun.
Over top, they do get the first blood over here on the Afu. Didn't look like they were pressuring too hard, and I wasn't really sure if they were able to go in on this, but Elder Titan ends up getting killed, and now he'll make his way over towards bottom. We've got Monet coming through with the Frost Shield. The chase is on for ASD. The Magic Missile thrown out. They'll look for the sweep, almost trying to avoid it with the Mischief, and unable to do so. And that death, and I understand it, it gives up the first blood here to EHOME, but worth it. That ends up being very worth it, because that's potential for Afu to come over towards bottom, use that stomp, get the sleep, and then work with this team to get the kill over bottom. Giving up the first blood, not always the worst thing in the world, but you're able to get that kill. Tinker over mid, taking a lot of damage. Ego has to be careful as Setsu sitting level 5 going into the 201 build. You don't really take the Diabolic Edict too early. You want the Split Earth with the Lightning Storm, getting that stun with the slow that is there with the Lightning Storm. If you can line up the sleep with the Split Earth and possibly an arrow on top of that, the stun locking is there for RNG, and even more in terms of pick-off potential for the side of RNG overall. Pings heavily coming out towards mid from Ego. And Afu, I mean, you look at that damage that he's got. He's hitting for over 200. He's about to 3-shot ASD. That is some crazy damage. They might even get Y on top of this. Now only hitting for 87. The stick comes out. All of a sudden, he had a plus 150. Or 130 by his name. Oh, man. And that's what's really hard about tri-laning against the Elder Titan. He taps 3 heroes with that Spirit as well as the Creeps, throws it over here towards the stack. And this is very important for Afu in lane. And that's really where he's going to get his damage. He'll throw the Astral Spirit out towards lane, back over towards the camp, and over to collect it. And that just gives him a high amount of damage, and that is a problem. The Mischief again to try and avoid the sweep, but ASD's in so much trouble. The Frost Blast comes through. And there is an easy kill for RNG in this bottom lane. Got the sweep onto the Phoenix. Look at that, plus 66. And it's easy to get that kill, especially with the Frost Shield. When you don't have Icarus Dive, it puts you in a lot of trouble. Faith Beyond eating a lot of damage here from SRF. And for right now, it is a early lead that I could see RNG be really opportunistic with. We'll see what they're willing to do here in this bottom lane. For RNG, I think the way you just play this game is play it with the aggression of looking for these pickoffs. You're doing a really good job in the mid lane, and Mirana's fine, continuing to farm. Top of the CS is the Leshrac. You've gotten a couple of kills here at this point. So things are really nice and setting up really well for RNG. And again, you still have this stack for Elder Titan if you were to come over, and I believe over mid they did get the sweep with the stun, and they'll get the kill on a Y. So Setsu, he'll grab his first of the game, making it 5-1. Over top, there's a little bit of pressure on the SRF, but Faith Beyond coming in, it's not exactly the easiest hero to set your sights on, especially when you've got Leap available for this Mirana. Brought a couple heroes over towards top again, with Afu looking for the sweep. He's got it. He's lucky enough to have this boar right here, but there's the split earth that comes through. The Primal Roar will be used, and they do get Setsu with the heavy rotations from the side of EHOME. They may not even get Faith Beyond. SRF running from these creeps ends up falling. There's the sweep onto the Monkey King. This is going to be 3 for EHOME on an overextension from RNG.
Hello, this is Gabe Newell. Thanks for playing Dota 2. Double kill.
Has the degree.
So 5-4 for RNG, but they give a lot of it right back to EHOME, who desperately need that. They need to slow down these lanes, make sure they don't get picked off, and find their farm. They've got 2 Wraith Bands so far on ASD. You take a look over the Tinker. He's got the Soul Ring, looking for the Boots of Travel, and only, halfway to that recipe to finish them off. And then, of course, Necrobuck being looked for the Beastmaster, as they do, of course, want the pushing potential. But the Lightning Storm, the Split Earth, it's an easy kill here. Stun or not, Setsu's got an easy kill, and now, if you're Y, you're starting to realize, I can't be near the Leshrac. But look at this. Monet's got an open lane at the moment. Nobody willing to come over. And he's level 6, so he has Chronosphere, 3 Wraith Bands. EHOME thinking about coming in. They've got the Monkey King nearby, the sweep, but there's the magic missile. Arrow flying through, won't hit on anybody. The Jingu's going to be procced. No chase. And again, just pressuring this Monkey King, keeping the lane open for Monet bottom.
Middle tower is under attack.
Back to this 1,000 net worth lead here for RNG. Well, Shrek Setsu going for the early Yules. See how quickly he's able to get that. That adds to the lockdown that RNG have. And now the Chronosphere thrown out bottom. The Frostblast onto the Phoenix trying to get away, but the Sinister Gaze is there to lock him up. Did have Icarus dive, but the Sinister Gaze is what helps them finish off that kill, and Monet gets credit for that one. He gets his first after getting 4 assists. So, after getting those couple of kills bottom, I mean, Afu is fine. It was the 170 damage early with this stack. With the tri-lane that was against Monet, I mean, you use that against him, and you're easily able to get the right click and get those kills. So, sitting over mid will be Y. He's finally got himself that swap for the next time Chronosphere comes through, so Venge will be ready. And Ego TPing close to where this Lich was. If he is spotted, I don't know if he dies. I don't think so. As it would be a while for SRF to make the way over if they had the Sinister Gaze with the sweep to possibly find an arrow.
I must slake my thirst for revenge.
So they smoke up, Sep. It's the Sinister Gaze that can confirm these stomps to come through from Elder Titan. If they can land one here onto the Tinker, that would be big to slow down his farm. Because he's already got the boots of travel now going into the Blink Dagger, and you need to slow down this progression. They'll get the scan. It comes through onto Afu. Why? Spots him, so they know he's there. They'll bring over the Tinker. The TP comes through. Now they want to get the sweep. He's so far away, so this is actually a really poor spot for EHOME. Ego able to avoid this sweep that was going to come through. Y gets hit by it, and although they don't die on EHOME, the pressure's still felt, sorry.
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
So Tinker comes over towards top with Faith Beyond here, trying to push out the top wave. They don't want to lose this tier 1 tower just yet. They'll come to defend it. And of course, that comes with the help of the Tinker, who's already got the boots of travel. Meanwhile, Monet's just been able to freely farm here over bottom, going for the Battle Fury. Afu, he's ready to set up because he's got the Earth Splitter. Chronosphere comes in, and this is an easy kill. And Monet with his second. He's 2-0-4. Has such an open lane at the moment, and this is really becoming a problem.
Dire's bottom tower won't last.
You're stacking up on the side of EHOME, while Monet is able to continue farming, continue pushing. Only the Demon Edge away on this Battle Fury already.
Are Radiant using echolocation?
Setsu Invis. Looking towards this Invis. Actually has vision on ASD, and he's going to throw that Split Earth preemptively. ASD in so much trouble. And Setsu rips through him. Monkey King just splits open and melted.
Dire's top tower is about to
Setsu, that was really perfect with the Moonlight Shadow. Just watches the Invis rune, has creeps there, knows where Monkey King's going to be, throws the Split Earth, and from that point, there's just no way you're going to survive here. And Leshrac able to get that easy kill. They are coming around looking to find a Primal Roar target. Got Y here for the follow-up into this Magic Missile. Supernova ready as Jiang is level 7. But again, all the while Monet continuing to farm and not too far off of that Battle Fury. But you take a look as the Mirana's gone 3 Wraith Bands as well into the Dragonlance next. Leshrac has the Yules going Bloodstone next. So things are looking good here. For the side of RNG, they're up 3,000 net worth. It may not be the biggest lead, but for right now, it feels like the power spike's in the favor of RNG to the point where they're the ones putting the pressure on. And I say that EHOME need to do something, and they'll go over top to try and take this tier 1 tower. We'll see if there's any rotation from the side of RNG, as they don't have this Chronosphere for 3, but they might be looking to pressure a tower of their own. Looking for Ego, he's trying to TP, and no chance he gets away from this. They should be able to follow it up with the Chronosphere. There's the Earth Splitter, and nice Split Earth from behind from Setsu. They'll finally get the kill on the Ego. The Primal Roar comes in. Monet trying to at least take out this Supernova. They will find it, and now they lose Setsu, they lose Sep. The Chain Frost bouncing around on 2 of these heroes. In a lot of trouble is Y. He'll lose his life, and there's the Starstorm to take out a 4th on the side of EHOME. Faith Beyond on the run. Tinker makes his way back. They'll get the kill on Afu. But this is damage done by RNG already. Tinker buying back in this situation. They do get Setsu in return, but the 2 cores that matter, at least in that engagement, are out of there. And Monet, with that, is going to have the Battle Fury in just a moment. And there it is. 17 minute Battle Fury, not awful. As he had already picked up 3 Wraith Bands on top of that, now going for the Shadow Blade. With the way Monet is just being untouched, it's going to become such a problem for EHOME very quickly with how quickly the Void gets farmed. Not to mention that Setsu's already working on this Bloodstone. He's got the Yule, so the lockdown's there in that regard. And then Murano with the Dragonlance, maybe sitting 3rd in terms of the cores on RNG, but overall, that's not really a big deal. That's your offlaner. You expect it as such. Meanwhile, bottom, they'll get the kill on Afu. 3 heroes here in Y, Ego, as well as Jiang. EHOME getting at least 1 back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sep has this Chain Frost ready once again. Chronosphere available in 23. They're trying to use that with the Vision of the Astral Spirit to find the Tinker once more. And EHOME, they're doing an okay job. They're not down by much. Pressuring these lanes. Although RNG's finding a lot of farm and they're top of the net worth on Setsu, as well as following that up with Monet not too far behind. Overall, EHOME's doing a good job behind this Tinker at the moment, and I think that they really need Ego to find quite a bit of farm, open up the map for Monkey King, and slow down this game, because if Monkey King's able to get the Battle Fury, we could see the pressure start to become more of a problem for RNG.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
So they get the tier 1 over mid, moving in on Roche. Pretty early Roche for the side of RNG. This is not to come in without a cost, as the tier 2 bottom is gone. And ooh, Icarus Dive just not coming in close enough, and they'll pick up the Aegis. They hesitated for a moment, and I really wasn't sure about that hesitation. If someone were able to come in, it would really only be the Phoenix anyway. And maybe the Tinker if he's able to blink in, but I doubt they would want to go for something as aggressive as that. Even if you pick up the Aegis and you lose a fight, it's not exactly beneficial when you're down 4,000 net worth.
Scanning for enemies.
Arrow comes out and now looking for the sleep. Not going to find it on Faith Beyond, but the scan is there, so they know that there is some of EHOME on the high ground.
Invisibility.
BKB very close to being finished here for SRF. I believe this is the Bloodstone. Yeah, there it is. So Bloodstone already here for Setsu, with Monet and the Battle Fury going into the Shadow Blade. He is really progressing on these items quite quickly. We've got the Battle Fury getting finished here for ASD. It's his moment to start farming. He's going for a similar build as Monet now into the Shadow Blade himself. And Ego has the Kaya. He is farming really well on this Tinker. Has not been stopped too often. Only dying that one time over bottom, now going into the Ags, then the Dagon. Again, Tinker getting a lot of time to the point where RNG might need to start to worry. Blink Dagger available here for the Beastmaster. Necro 2. Is Necro 3 on the way?
Dire's middle tower
There it is, Blink Primal Roar. This is Hanasetsu, who just picked up this Bloodstone. They only get the Aegis for now. The rotation is over, and EHOME are okay with that. They'll leave. So EHOME taking out the Aegis. They don't try to get greedy. They don't try to get one more. And RNG, they're a little too slow with the rotation, unable to help Setsu and find anything on the exit. Chasing towards EHOME.
it's seeking, just like your ships.
So Shadowblade is picked up by the Faceless Void of Monet. He's going for the BKB, which is just about to be finished here for SRF. You take a look over again at Setsu. He's got 2,000 gold saved up. As for the side of EHOME, they look pretty good with the Blink Dagger and the Primal Roar and what Tinker's bringing to the table eventually when these team fights start to go off for between RNG and EHOME. And the game is sitting about even, and I do think for EHOME that is in part due to the fact that Ego has just been moving around the map so fluidly and just really finding quite a bit of farm. I mean, this is really efficient here in the jungle. Again, got those boots of travel pretty quickly. Working on towards the Ags. He's almost got enough for it. Sitting 1,700 gold away. I think RNG need to start pushing more pressure onto these towers instead of farming up. ASD in a lot of trouble. There's the Split Earth. Nicely placed onto the Monkey King to get that easy kill on ASD. Adding a charge to that Bloodstone, pressuring the tier 2 tower like they needed to. Problem is Beastmaster coming in bottom, possibly looking for a tier 3. So we'll see how far RNG are willing to go, especially with the pressure mounting over bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge.
So RNG, still with the 2,000 net worth lead, but it is still anybody's game at the moment. As Y will take away this Tinker ward. Ego sitting 650 gold away from that Ags. At this point, if the Ags is picked up for the Tinker, I do worry about how well RNG are able to team fight. Laser comes in and you have a swap, you get your core out of the Chronosphere. This could become a problem for RNG. They got a little too complacent with where their lead was. They didn't really pressure their advantage. They continue to let Monet farm. He wants his BKB. They haven't had to use the BKB on the Mirana just yet. And then Setsu, he's also found his. So while I do think that maybe the laser could be a problem, they do have BKBs about to be on all 3 cores. And it will be 10-second BKBs for all 3 of them as well. So EHOME also set up over towards bottom. They've got Faith Beyond leading with Jiang nearby. Monet trying to wrap around with this Shadow Blade, but again, he probably should just focus on grabbing himself this BKB. Dagon is next here for the Tinker, and all this time where EHOME are able to stall and able to make sure that RNG aren't putting on pressure to these towers and pushing in further, is more time for Ego to get farm on this Tinker, move towards this Dagon, and Monkey King work on his BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So 400 gold left, or 300 at this point needed. They'll take out the warding here. Take away the vision from EHOME, but the intel is already there.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
And the game is practically sitting at even. From what we had seen previously, it had felt like RNG were the ones in the lead, but it almost seems like they've given it up and have become complacent with how EHOME have moved it around the map.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So 22 seconds until Roche is up.
Double damage.
As RNG start to sit here near the pit, getting ready for when Roshan will spawn, and that's in 10 seconds from now. And there it is, RNG spotted, so we'll see how quickly they're able to take it. We'll see if EHOME want to contest this. If they're willing to go in, the scan is out, but there's no chance that they get in on this. It's just going down way too quickly for RNG.
He lives in a rock. Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
And again, this Roche attempt, or this Roche, grab of the Aegis and cheese comes with EHOME pressuring over bottom. BKB almost finished here for the Monkey King. Heaven's Halberd coming in next for the Phoenix. Blink Dagger, Necro 3, Boots of Travel there for the Beastmaster. Chronosphere is out, and they'll look for the kill. It'll land on a Y. They'll at least get themselves one. But that's it. And that's where Y comes in the clutch, to get that swap and make sure at least that RNG don't find anything too crucial to winning this game. So Setsu coming over, he popped the BKB, the arrow lands as well as the Sinister Gaze here onto the Phoenix. They found the Yules, that will hit with the Split Earth. Coming through on Ego, 2 nice kills there for RNG. It looked like EHOME were ready to back out, but RNG nicely done. The arrow lands onto the Phoenix. Ego can't find his way out of there.
Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
Now they've lost the Tinker. He's dead for 80. Doesn't want to buy back. And the pressure onto the tier 1 will mount, and we'll see if they'll continue forward onto the tier 2, if not more.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
Without the Tinker, your global pressure isn't there for EHOME. Unable to push out these lanes, and RNG will take advantage of that, taking this tier 2 with the tier 1. It's the BKB used here by SRF, or not SRF, by Setsu. Still a 10-second for SRF, and at least for Monet, he's also got that 10-second. So not much expended in terms of BKBs to find those exit kills, as well as get the kill over towards top. Got the Aegis on Setsu ready to go. Cheese through on the Murata. Monet is set. He's got the 10-second BKB. He'll be going into the MKB as well. And picking it up relatively soon. As RNG have also picked up a 7,000 net worth lead with a couple of kills they got over bottom, and the one they got with Chronosphere over in the top jungle.
Radiant are scanning for enemy.
Arrow coming across, won't find anything. Moving over towards bottom will be the Monkey King. They do have pressure that they can put on from EHOME to start pushing out these lanes, so RNG don't feel comfortable just slowly pushing these towers. And there it is. The creeps start to push in on the tier 3, and they'll send Setsu back. He's the one who's got the Aegis. He can definitely frontline right now for RNG. With the help of Monet and the Chronosphere that would be laid down, there's a lot in the pockets of RNG to throw towards EHOME and take a team fight. But, again, playing this one slow and ultimately trying to win game 1. EHOME are okay with this, playing it this slow. Getting more farm here onto their Monkey King, looking for the Tinker, try and get that Dagon out. Ooh, BKB will be pop. Chronosphere comes out onto 2. They'll find the Monkey King. He's going to be the first victim. No swap to get him away because Y was stuck in there as well. Sinister Gaze comes through on a Faith Beyond. That's going to be a second for RNG. Just like that, they'll take out 2. Staying inside the dire jungle for so long, EHOME feeling a bit pressured to make a move. And RNG, they're the ones who come out successful in that exchange. Tinker trying to pressure them back. Split Earth won't land. Now they've got the swap of the BKB. Setsu looking over at Y. Easy way to survive with the BKB. Or will it? Because they've got the Primal Roar coming through as well as the swap. Setsu in trouble, end up dying. Y goes down, and now moving forward will be Monet with his BKB. And on top of that, the Earth Splitter lands on 2 with the Chain Frost. Take them all out, RNG, as EHOME have been team wiped. They'll buy back on the Phoenix. They'll buy back on the Tinker. They get the tier 3. They want to stick around and get the melee racks. There it goes.
Like stabbing fish in a barrel.
Dire's middle tower is drowning.
So Setsu back, 16 Bloodstone charges still, going into the Lincoln Sphere. Over on Monet, he's also going for a defensive item in that Lincoln Sphere after picking up the MKB. Actually, they all are.
The prize is mine.
Making sure they can't get hit with the swap, Primal Roar, Magic Missile. Most important abilities here that they need to try and protect themselves from. But oh, why? Spotting SRF, and there's the Icarus dive away. But the melee racks, the top lane, will innately push in, and RNG are able to spread out the pressure. This is now a 16,000 net worth lead for them after getting the team wipe over top. And then continuing to take the melee racks in the tier 3 as well.
Let thy healing begin.
You don't have the plus 50 Diabolic Edict explosions yet either. And that'll really pump it up in terms of building damage. But, oh, thinking about the Wukong's command for just a moment. EHOME smoked here, trying to wrap on RNG. But they've got the Moonlight Shadow, and this is a problem. I think they've been spotted. The arrow comes through, hits on a Y. This could be the start that they want. They'll look for the sweep. The BKB's going to be popped. They won't even throw the stomp. They'll get the kill on a Y very easily. He's dead for 44 seconds. ASD sitting nearby. Faith Beyond. How did he not see him? There's the Yules with the arrow. Wukong's command comes out from ASD. Is it going to be enough to try and get the kill on a Monet? He's got this Frost Shield. There's the Supernova. They need to take out this egg. The BKB's going to be popped by ASD. The egg gets off because SRF is dead. They continue to move on forward. They'll look for September as well as Afu. There's the Earth Splitter with the BKB being popped by Setsu. Sinister Gaze pulls him in, gets the kill. There's 3 dead here on EHOME. And oh, nice move by Setsu. That was with the Boots of Travel. They got the Yules as well as the Chronosphere on a 2. They'll take them both out.
Double kill.
Boundless Strike comes in, but they know it's over. GG's been called by EHOME, and RNG take game 1. Really nicely played there. EHOME looking like they had the upper hand in that fight. They got SRF early, but RNG recover, and they get the full team wipe. That gives them game 1, as RNG now 1 game away from going to the lower bracket final against Team Root. EHOME sitting here 1 game away from elimination. Take a look. 17,000 hero damage here for the Leshrac. 25,000 net worth for Setsu. 23,000, 10-0 here for Monet. Absolutely stellar. And EHOME not able to really get the ball rolling, and unfortunately RNG take advantage if you're EHOME, and they take game 1. So EHOME, they got to go back to the drawing board, look to come back in game 2, force it to a game 3, and hope to stay alive in this qualifier, while RNG are 1 game away from going up against Team Root for the final best of 3 to see who qualifies. So we'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. I'm your caster Bkop at Bkop92 on Twitter. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay right there. We'll be right back.